Have you ever met someone by chance, felt like an instant connection, and wondered what might have happened if the world had bent in your favor? Welcome to the Lost and Found Chronicles, a podcast where we talk about things, memories, people that we lose on the way, and in an interesting way, we find them back into our lives. And in today's story, we have two travelers, each chasing their own dreams, whose path crossed for a fleeting moment, a meeting that left a lasting impression, a promise that went unkept, and a reunion decades later in the most unexpected way, almost fated way. A heartfelt story of two people, and it is called as Paths Rejoined. Meet Aiden, a 23-year-old young man who had always been a restless soul. After finishing university, he left his hometown with a backpack and a journal, determined to see the world and write stories about the people he met on the way. He was curious, observant, and often scribbled snippets of overheard conversation into poems in his notebook. On the other hand, Kelly, a 21-year-old girl, was an amateur painter from a coastal town. She carried a small sketchbook, everywhere capturing street corners, strangers' faces, and a fleeting moments of beauty. She was thoughtful, a little shy, but had quite confidence that drew people towards her. Their first encounter was entirely by chance. Both were reaching out for the same guidebook in a crowded train station in Europe. They laughed, apologized, and soon found themselves wandering cobblestone streets together. They both shared their stories and passion for travel. Aiden shared his dream of traveling every continent and collecting stories. Kelly spoke about capturing cities on paper and dreaming of creating a mural telling the story of every place she visited. They both appreciated each other's goal and felt connected. By evening, they sat by a fountain, sharing an ice cream and laughter, realizing that despite only knowing each other for a few hours, they felt a deep, unspoken connection. Before parting ways, they decided to write to each other. Aiden takes the lead and promises to write her first, and hereon they became a part of each other's journeys. Life, as it often does, had other plans. Aiden and Kelly said their goodbyes and moved on to their respective destinations. After reaching his next destination, Aiden decided to send a postcard to Kelly. But he misplaced Kelly's address somewhere in a pile of travel journal and postcards. He was disappointed with himself. For next few days, he kept searching for the address. But then he eventually returned back to his passion. He moved on. He often thought of her while sketching scenes in cafe or listening to street musicians, wondering if she was doing the same. Here Kelly was waiting eagerly for the letters that never arrived. But she kept their memory alive in her art. She painted cityscapes, each with a hidden detail that reminded her of Aiden. A notebook on a bench, a street musician, a fountain at sunset. She held on to hope that one day, somehow, their paths would cross again. Both carried a quiet ache, each unaware that other was still thinking of them. Their longing became a gentle thread in their lives, invisible yet unbroken. Decades later, Aiden, now a published travel writer with the silver streaks in his hair, returned to Europe, retracing old paths for some inspiration. Knowing the town well, he left a small clue, a folded note tucked into a familiar spot near a fountain, a simple sketch of the corner where Kelly and Aiden had first met, hoping, just in case, that Kelly might somehow, someday, see it. Kelly herself, now a celebrated artist, had returned to the same town to paint a series for an exhibition at the same time. To her surprise, as she wandered the streets, she spotted the small clue tucked in the corner. Inspired, she painted the sketch into one of her canvases and left it back at the same spot, adding her own tiny mark, a little secret only Aiden could recognize. Neither expected this serendipity, yet fate had arranged their meeting. The next day, both returned to the fountain. There, they saw the clue, now transformed into Kelly's painting, left exactly where he had found the first sketch. Recognition sparked immediately. The playful, miraculous twist of fate left them laughing in disbelief. Their paths crossed again, guided by a small gesture, unspoken hope, and years of waiting. They walked the same streets together, talking about the adventures and misadventures of life, about the lost letters, missed opportunities, and the roads that had led them back to each other. Though decades have passed and life had taken them on separate journeys, they realized something profound. Some connections are resilient. Some promises, even when broken by circumstances, find their way back, sometimes in ways we could never imagine. Some meetings leave marks that time cannot erase. Some promises, even when unkept, find their way back in letters, in paintings, in little clues left along the way. Keep your eyes open. Sometimes the road we travel brings us back exactly where we belong. That's it for today's episode of Lost and Found Chronicles, a series from Laid Back Stories podcast. Thank you for listening till the end. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. If you have a story of a connection that you lost and maybe found it again, I would love to hear from you. Share your stories with me at lostandfoundchronicles@gmail.com or find me at social media at Prelicious. And I am Pri, your host, your storyteller, your listener, and your fellow collector of almost forgotten. Until next time, pause often, breathe deeply, and stay a little laid back.